Happy Sunday. Getting ready to do the BOGP open line. You, me, and Scotty G here in just a second. So settle in and we'll get started.
And I know we've been heavy on Disneyland, but it's Disneyland's anniversary today.
Yes, I know. Seriously, we can't stop. And we just got lucky to see Main Street Electrical. Well, we'll talk about that once we get going.
Dude,
I mean, what?
you want to talk about some luck, man? Like everything, was.
Dude, I know. It's
everything
crazy.
worked out.
Lucky.
But like, why get rid of Disneyland forever? Like that kind of annoys me. But
I know. What's up? They got to be replacing it with something, right? Because of D23. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe. Oh, we'll talk about it.
Maybe.
We'll take
so that's going to be gone by the time D23 is. So all those people going to D23. Right. Oh, dang.
D23 is like, I think it's like 10 days later. Isn't it like Liberty Week? Like right after Labor Day.
Oh my God. That's even more like bogus.
I know.
Because they're going to have like all these hardcore like Disney fans travel for that. And then we're going to get rid of the parade.
It's the first thing I thought.
That's just rude.
Like, yes, the most hardcore Disney fans coming to Disneyland. Guess what? You don't get to see Main Street Electrical Parade
or Disneyland Forever. Like, and I'm kind of bumming too. Like, I know we caught the end of it, but like, I wish we would have like had like that one night where we had the prime spot and then they canceled the show. Like, I wish we could have seen it. Better, but it's fine.
Dude, I can't complain. I
know they got nothing we complain about. That was an awesome week.
Not complain about anything.
That week was perfect.
I can't.
Every night, like every time I did like a walk last week or even like middle of the day, work day, just like downtime, like I just kept thinking about that trip, man. It was so epic.
Seriously, that's how I was like this time. That whole next week, I was like, this time last week. I was doing this.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Katie. Thanks for being here. Kathy's here. Tom is here. Happy Sunday to Kathy. Happy Sunday to Tom. Happy Sunday to Margie and Herschel.
I'm close. It's been like overcast. Like it's wanted the storm all day. It hasn't happened yet, but like it's gonna happen eventually.
Oh, Cardinals game was rained out today. It's been 75 today. It was 138 yesterday.
Of course.
When I was sitting on the sun at the ball game. But they did not want to play today. It's just drizzled all day. It has not rained that hard. They called the game immediately. Like at 1:15, they're like 1:17. They're like games.
They wanted just an extra day for the All-Star break. Exactly. Is what it is. Because it's an All-Star break this week.
Did Pujols get to decide this or something? I'm like, because I mean, they did not wait, but like 2 minutes. It was like 1:17. Twitter was like, game's been postponed. We're playing a doubleheader in September. I was like, wait, what? I looked at the radar. Like, it's gonna stop raining in 30 minutes. I was like, they have played through like tornadoes in St. Louis. I guess I kept telling Pam, she's like, think they're gonna rain the game? I'm like, no, because I was like, neither one of these teams have anywhere to go. Like they could start the game at 5 tonight. Cincinnati's not that far. They could fly home.
They just want to kickstart the All-Star break. It's exactly what that is.
Well, I was like, it was like kids on like the last day of school. Or like spring break. Like we are out.
Yeah. Remember we were on a cruise once during the All-Star game? Because we like wore like everyone like wore their team jerseys or whatever.
Cool. Williams up back in Oregon, 82 and gorgeous. Yeah, it's only it's nice here. It's 79, but it's drizzly. I went to go to Taco Bell in my Jeep back out of the driveway. It was kind of drizzling, so I had to go back in and get the car. Yeah, I saw Tom. I saw the Yankees. You're welcome, by the way, from Marp. We gave him to you there, so you get that guy's a beast, Matt Carpenter. Craziness. Okay, let's do this. Oh, I guess my dots just arrived because my thing just went off. All right, here we go. Wait, do I got that hooked up? Yes, I do. Okay, here we go. I was wondering about that, William, because I know Jessica said she was down there at Disneyland just yesterday, I think. All right, here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP open line for Sunday night, July 17th, 2022. We hope you are having a great wrap to the weekend, or if you're tuned in here on the feed on Thursday, hey, you've almost made it to another weekend. Thanks for joining us here for the replay and for joining us live here on Facebook and YouTube, where for the next hour, we're going to be talking all things Disney. And joining me today to have some fun, taking your calls here for the next hour. It's your friend and mine who just went to Disneyland with me, but spent yesterday at the beach. But he's at the Mitten. Now, how does that happen? What's up, Scotty G? Thanks for joining us tonight. What's up?
Hey, Mike. Happy Sunday. But yeah, so you think about the Mitten, Mike, like we're surrounded by the Great Lakes. So for those watching, I was at the tip of the thumb is what they call it, Port Austin. So I was hanging at Port Huron, cool beach town area. Mike, you would actually love it. Like all these like small towns with like little shops and stuff like that. It was a great day. It was a little overcast, which made it really comfortable. It was my kind of beach day. So, but yeah, happy to be here on a Sunday talking live with you, and hope we get some good questions tonight.
So I checked out your Instagram. Now, those umbrellas, those Disney umbrellas, are those yours, or those something you rented, or what was that all about?
So those are our umbrellas. So quick story on that. So a few years ago, Steve Forster had the great idea, let's take a summer off from Walt Disney World and let's go to Hilton Head. Let's just go to the beach. So we all like camped up our vehicles with the Forsters and our friends the Martins, and we drove down the Hilton Head, and we wanted to bring like beach chairs and umbrellas and all that. And Target had these Mickey and Minnie beach umbrellas. And Mike, they're only like $10, but we got them off like half off. So it was like $10 for the two of them. And 4 or 5 years later, those things are still sturdy and getting the job done. So it's kind of fun, like you have to like Disneyfy everything in our life. It feels like we can't even go to the beach without showing off like that we're like crazy Disney fans, but it's kind of fun. We saw a lot of people like when we're in the lake taking photos of our little setup. It was kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, so I gotta say, check out Scott's Instagram. It's at Epcot, because these umbrellas are perfect for the Disney fan. I saw him, because I knew he was in Michigan, but it looked like he was at Castaway Cay, which turned the thumb into Castaway Cay, which was pretty awesome. So check those out, and hopefully Target will bring that deal back around, because hey, it's the end of summer. Why not have some $5 umbrellas?
Yeah, it was awesome because you might even remember it, because like they started doing like this awesome like connection with Disney. They were doing like all these like cool Disney shirts and all that. I remember they had like a menswear, like Disney ties and stuff like that. And like we saw the umbrellas the year we were going to go on a beach vacation. We're like, well, this is perfect. So hopefully they do something like that again.
All right, so I have some topics I want to bring to the table. I'm not going to go to the news over at the Mouse for Less tonight, because I just want to bring some stuff to the table tonight. First of all, I know that we've been heavy on Disneyland over the past couple of weeks, and I apologize for that. But I was super excited. And one of the topics, we got to talk about tonight is today, as we're recording, is the 67th birthday of Disneyland, where all this stuff started. So happy birthday, Disneyland. And we were just out there, but we found out this past week, again, we've kind of talked about over the past few months. Scott and I went out to Disneyland, and it felt like everything the cards that we were dealt, we were getting aces all the time. Like, oh, we got a joker, we got an ace, like we're hitting jackpots all the time. 21. We got so lucky. The weather was great. Things were coming back. We cannot complain. And so this past week, we got some befuddling news that, we love Disneyland, but all of a sudden D23 is going to be at Disneyland. Don't forget, early to mid September, we find out Main Street Electrical Parade and the Disneyland Forever fireworks going away on September 1st. Now, they said that this is because this was a limited time run, but the thing is, I didn't know that. Did you see like any kind of marketing out there while we were there that said, catch this before it glows away? Because that's what they said in the marketing last week, but I didn't see anything that said this was like a limited time run. I thought this was just going to go until it went. I didn't think it was like,
Yeah, I thought it was indefinite. Like, let's just keep it rolling, right? Until like we have something to announce, maybe like a new show or a replacement. Like, I was so stunned by that. And like, you got to think like it's probably like boosted some attendance, right? Like people that, want to see the Main Street Electrical Parade. People love that nighttime parade. Like, hey, let's go to Disneyland. So it really stunned me that this was such a small run. And I know like fireworks shows change and they come in and out, but it just always cracks me up with something like with the word forever in it, like ends, like Disneyland forever, Epcot forever. It's just funny when those shows come to an end.
Parentheses, or at least until September 1st.
Right. Which I love Disneyland forever. And that was part of like the 60th, Mike. Like, I don't know if you remember that. That was like the big fireworks show that came with the 60th. So, it's been off and on a lot during like the last few years. So, it makes sense that it's going away, but I would love to like see an announcement for a replacement when they do something like this. But ironic timing though, with D23, like there's going to be some upset fans going to D23 that were planning on these shows and they won't be there.
Yeah, it's just the timing of it all. At least hold it over until D23.
I know, just wait till like mid-September. Like,
it's like just 2 weeks. That was interesting. Unless they're going
to release something that week, right?
Well, I thought about that, right? Are they going to announce they're bringing Paint the Night back or something like that? One of those beloved shows back to Disneyland. But the thing is, if they announce it at D23, the people that are at D23 are probably not going to get to enjoy it, because I doubt it starts immediately. And then even if they do announce it, if it ends on September 1st, if you're out there, yay, I don't get to see it. It's like, at least keep it going for the diehard Disney. Sometimes I think, and I love Disney. Don't get me wrong. We do a Disney podcast. This is what I do for a living. But I mean, like, some of these things are so obvious. Like, how do you not know your most diehard of fans are going to be where it all started in Anaheim and just let it go for 10 more days? For goodness sake. Like, it's not that hard.
It's I don't know who made that decision. It's kind of interesting. Natalie kind of cracks me up. She's like, Scott says, I understand that fireworks can change. And she's like, bring back Happily Ever After. I'm kind of with Natalie on that too. It's just Wishes was around for like, who knows how, I can't even remember how many years. And here I am saying like, well, Disneyland Forever had a good run at 5. Like 5, it should be like 10 years. Like, and like the way they do fireworks shows now too, Mike, they can just like kind of interchange things with projections and things like that. I think it would be really easy to keep your base show and just make small tweaks here and there. But who knows? Maybe they got something planned, or maybe Disneyland Forever will randomly come back again sometime. Who knows?
Okay, so I got to ask you about something else too. I got a couple, and again, I want to take your calls, 407-413-9395. We're going to open up the phone lines in about 5 minutes, so hang tight, but I want to get your feedback on any of these topics I'm bringing to the table. I don't know if you saw this on social media this past week, but some account, and I can't remember the account because there's some obscure account I'd never heard of, but they found this commercial from back in the day that Walt Disney World produced, and it was like a musical. It was a commercial that was about 2 to 2.5 minutes long, and it was all these people dancing around saying why you need to stay on property. And it talked about the Magic Band. It talked about Magical Express and them delivering your luggage to the hotel room. It talked about extra magic hours, and it talked about all these things that are no longer here. And it really got people fired up on social media because those are the reasons why a decade ago so many people were so in love with Walt Disney World. It was those extras that you get there nowhere else. Did you see that commercial?
I have not seen it, so this is breaking for me. Yeah, I'll have to go see it after the show.
I'll have to retweet it because it was so well. It was a musical. Like, so people would be dancing around. They were dancing around in Storybook Circus.
Did someone on Twitter, sorry to interrupt, did someone on Twitter make this, or this was like an actual production by Walt Disney World, right?
This was made by Disney. I'm almost positive because, I mean, they're on property. Like, they're dancing around like in front of the yacht club. Lauding Magical Express and how they deliver your bags to, but they wrote all these original songs, and there's people like in cast member uniforms. I mean, but it's like Oklahoma. Like, they're dancing around.
I love it.
They're like carrying the guy. But I mean, the guy's explaining what a magic band does. He's all like, boom, 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 and everybody's dancing behind. It's like the Main Street show, like the dancers, but there's like 40 or 50
like a trolley show of some sort, and they're like,
but they're going through like the top 5 to 6 reasons to stay on site, and it was like magic bands, extra magic hours, Magical Express, and transportation, like around property, all these reasons why. A decade ago, as we were doing the show, we're saying this is why you stay on property. And I think what got everybody's ire with this is that, God, like, you just don't realize how awesome those things were until you just don't have them. Like, just to hear them singing and dancing about how, drop off your bags at your home airport and magically they're in your hotel room. Like, how awesome. I mean, that sounds unbelievable right now because we've had 2 years of dealing with our own luggage.
That was one of my favorite things to stay on site. I mean, I love the Magical Express to the resort, but I love the airline like resort check-in, where you could just, if you had a late flight on your checkout day, you could just drop those bags off with them. They get them to the airport. You can have fun in Magic Kingdom 4, 5, 6 hours, then go back and like be bag free. That was like my favorite thing, But it's crazy to think, like, what are the benefits now? And I still think there are benefits to staying on site for sure. Like, I just love the theming and the convenience of being on site. But as more and more things are taken away, as you just like that this video outlines, it's crazy that just in that small period of time, all the things we've lost. It's crazy to me.
And William has put up the link there on YouTube to this video. I mean, we obviously can't show it here because because it's like music. It'll probably kick us off. But I mean, I watched it and I was like, oh man, this like has me going. Like, it gets me fired up. Like this is exactly why I was so excited to become a Disney fan, because this was like if you ask for like the golden age, this was the golden age. This is why I started a podcast, because this exemplified the bubble of Walt Disney World. Like, I get a Magic Band. I don't have to use a credit card. I don't have to use cash. I don't have to even use like a room key. Like I can just boom, I can open my door. And and like Magical Express and like extra magic hours. I'm special because I'm staying on site. And we have a modified version of that now. But I mean, it was just just things like we don't even have like the traditional resort TV as much as we did. Just it's those little bitty things that I think they could bring them things back, and I think it'd be just something that the Disney fans would love. I think it'd just be a goodwill gesture towards, and there's a legion of us. I know it's not everybody, and it's not even most people that go to Walt Disney World, but it would do a lot of good to bring little things back.
I agree with you 100%. Man, just you talking about those things is making me miss them. You know what? Actually, it wasn't in your video here, and I know you probably hear this like 50 times a week, but like the dining plan was something that drew me like on that first visit. Like it was like Magical Express. Like I was like, this is amazing. You mean we don't have to like rent a car or anything? We can just go to the airport and boom, our bags show up. We show up. And what's this dining plan? Like we can just go to meals and not have to worry about paying or just like leaving a gratuity. Like those are the things that like got me so psyched for our first like Disney trip. And it's just a bummer that we're losing some of those things, Mike. But I think we're on an upswing though. I think we're gonna get some of those things back. I really do.
I think we are too, but here's what I think Disney in the next 5 years. Again, I think we all like it. The reason we're listening to a Disney podcast and we like to travel there, because we're the next level. We vacation there, but like while we're not there, we're always thinking about this. If you're listening to a show like this, is that we like to think about the marketing. We like to think about the finances, and I don't understand the finances or any of that stuff, but I do like to think about marketing and stuff. But I mean, okay, say like 10 to 15 years ago, when you would watch TV, and I see Disney commercials here and there because they're on ESPN, they're on SEC Network, because they're in the big family there. I see them even on Pluto TV sometimes on that free app the CBS actually owns. But the thing is, like the commercials just don't get me as much anymore. They need to go back to those commercials that were like, I'm too excited to sleep, or like the one for Disney Cruise Line back in the day, like he's our little souvenir. I mean,
the souvenir is like my favorite. Or
I mean, there's got to be like some kind of it just grabs you. And I just think they don't even really show the best of the product anymore. They just say we're celebrating 50 years of Walt Disney World,
and here's Spaceship Earth all lit up, like come and explore the magic. Like I want to see like families doing something fun in the park or whatever, not like icons. I totally see what you're saying, Mike. It's all about the celebrations.
Yeah, make it emotional. Make it about the one that did get me that they did show probably about 3 or 4 years ago. It was I think right before the pandemic, right at the beginning of the pandemic, was one that talked about like a parent and his kid, like they're only little for a little while, and that is absolutely true. I've said that to so many people. Like it goes like if you're a parent, this, like it goes fast. I mean, both of our daughters that were little girls, just a blink ago, they're in high school, so yeah, so you got to take advantage. I thought Disney did that one right. It didn't hit as hard, I don't think, as like some of these others, but we got the message out. They need more of those commercials. And I think that's step one. Then bring back some of, bring back Magical Express. I know they brought back the minivans, but that's a pay service, like they could do this. I don't know. The time is right for goodwill. I just think, I think it would go a long way. Anyway, let's get to something we both love too on this very special day. I don't know if you know about this day. Today, as we're recording, is National Ice Cream Day. Did you know that?
I only knew it because of the tweet you sent out about the live show today. So yeah.
Okay.
So where's your favorite place to get an ice cream?
That's what I was going to ask you. Oh. Yes. Okay. So I was going to ask you at the 3 places. So Disney Cruise Line. Where do you get your ice cream? Is it just the Deck 11 unlimited ice cream machine? I mean, that's unlimited ice cream that you've already paid for.
Yeah, I mean, so there's different ways you can get the ice cream. So Cabanas has ice cream. You can get like the hard serve scoops at Cabanas. Sometimes at your meal, I know I like the cookies and cream like ice cream that they have at Animator's Palette on the Dream and Fantasy. But the best place to get ice cream to me is actually the soft serve, but at Castaway Cay.
Yes.
I think it's just honestly, like, I mean, it could be mental, like where I think like everything's better on Castaway Cay. But I really think the ice cream actually does taste better on Castaway Cay. I think like it's thicker. It's not as like runny. I don't know if that's the right word to use, or melty, I guess. it just seems like it's thicker when it comes out of that machine. It just tastes better. So Castaway Key is my answer for ice cream for Disney Cruise Line.
I've had it. Have you had a Vanellope's on the Dream? You know, the kind of the place on deck 11 where you buy the candy.
Like the gelato. Yeah, I've had it, but like I'm paying for it. I want it free. I want it included in my cruise fare.
I think I did it once because like Mallory wanted to get it. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like we've paid $5,000 for this cruise, and like I can just go get as much ice cream as I want out of the thing down the other end of the ship.
But it's always packed. So I went in. I mean, it's not because you know how they have like weird rules, like what can be open. So because it's kind of like it's considered like a shop, I think. So it's not always
It's got to be like at sea, can't be in port. Yeah.
But like when I went on that like weekend Memorial Day cruise, like every time I walked by it, like it was packed, and I went in there once just to like scope things out, and like maybe I'll get an ice cream. Like I just didn't want to wait like 6 or 7 people deep for it, you know. Like I'll just go to deck 11 and get an ice cream.
Right. And I will say, but you got to go in these places because the theming in these specialty little candy shops that are up on the pool deck, they're awesome. I know Vanellope's, I don't know what it is. It's not Vanellope's, I don't think on the Fantasy. I think that's on the Dream, but there's one, maybe it is Vanellope's.
I think it's Vanellope's on both. I think
it might be. But I mean, the theming in there is awesome. I mean, even the machines like come to life, they're motion censored. I mean, it's awesome place. I mean, pay a couple bucks to get a restroom.
I didn't know I've done it. I remember once, like I was with Mallory, Emily, and I think like the Scott's daughter, like Zoe, like for some reason, like I was on kid duty during a cruise, and that's where I went. I bought them ice cream, and it was good. Then we took it down to deck 4 and just ate it, and like just sat on one of those loungers, and that was actually like a really cool memory for me.
All right, so let's go Disneyland. So Disneyland, we just got back from. I have to give it to Gibson Girl because that's Main Street USA, and this shocked me because you can't do this at Walt Disney World. You can mobile order ice cream, and it still works even at park closing. I figured you can mobile order like most of the day, but you're not gonna be able to order mobile order like it right after the fireworks or right before the Main Street Electrical Parade. Like, there's no way. Nope, you can, and you can walk right up and get your scoops and your cone or your sundae. And I mean, it's Gibson Girl. It's right there on Main Street USA, right next to Carnation Cafe. Now, I will say, if you're 6'3", watch your head when you go over past the awning, because I drilled my head on the awning. Yeah, it's not as tall. Disneyland awnings are not as high as Walt Disney World. I learned that. But so I'm going Gibson Girl. But I mean, you got Downtown Disney, you got some Salt and Straw, you got other places. So what are you going with?
That's the thing. Like, I love Salt and Straw. You got like the at DCA, you can get the cozy cone ice cream, like the waffle cone. Yes. But Mike, you hit it, man. Like, there's nothing as great as going to Gibson Girl, like on Main Street before like a parade, on your way out, or any time of day, really. Like, you can have ice cream any time of day. Let's be real. But Gibson Girl wins it, and I love your tip on the mobile ordering. I was stunned, Mike, that you can mobile order from the ice cream. Just think of the amount of time you spend at the parlor, like waiting for ice cream at the end of night, like you're sweating and like, like, I don't know, like Gibson Girl is the way to go. And the mobile order is awesome.
That's the problem. When I go back to Walt Disney World next time, I'm like, oh, I'm just standing here for 30 minutes. I should have mobile ordered and walked up and grabbed my cone.
Yeah, you're like, I could be in a sweatshirt and getting a mobile order at Gibson Girl right now.
I love my Walt Disney World. Just Disneyland just does a couple things, and it's a lot. Most of it's the weather.
I will say we got lucky on the weather. I mean, I've been there when it's been blazing hot too. So you're talking about like everything coming up aces for us. That was one thing. Granted, I mean the weather is pretty good usually out there, but we did luck out that it was just an unbelievably gorgeous week.
Now, Michelle, and I got to give a shout out to Michelle in the live chat right there. She covered for me while I got to go out and play around with my boy Scott out at Disneyland. She took care of all my guests at the Magic for Less. She says she loves the custom ice cream bars at Clarabelle's in DCA. I didn't even see Clarabelle's. Where's Clarabelle's? Scott, where's that?
I'm a DCA homer, man. I love DCA, and I cannot think of where that is right now. I'm drawing like a brain fart right now. Oh no. Shout out to put in the chat where we can find that. Oh, Ghirardelli's too. Yeah,
dude, we did go to Ghirardelli's. Carolyn in the live chats mentioning Ghirardelli's over at the Pacific Wharf at DCA. We went there, and I had the specialty. I forgot what it was called, but there's a picture on my Instagram. You had a really good picture on your Instagram of what you had. I don't know I was like,
I did because I love those chocolate caramels. That's my favorite, like squares that they do.
I'm still getting ice cream after this show.
I know, right?
Sunday night, okay.
And I did like a caramel like ice cream like with those chocolates in it. Oh man, it was so good. But yeah, like that's the thing. I love all the options, like the Ghirardelli's, the Salt and Straw. But for some reason at Disneyland, I just want to go classic, like the parlor kind of thing, and that's why Man, but there's so many options. There's so many great options.
All right, Michelle says right up front. See,
I can picture it now. Actually, when I saw it come through. So World, Mike. So you've been there a lot. You've been there the most. You know, there's so many options. One of your favorites has recently gone away. But where's your go-to at Walt Disney World?
My favorite ice cream. If I had to pick anything at Walt Disney World, it's got to be the peanut butter and jelly shake from 50s Prime Time. I mean, that's considered ice cream. It's a shake, but it is rocking. And because it's unique, and I have great memories of not only just dining there, it's my wife's favorite restaurant at Walt Disney World, but I also, back when they had a lot of fireworks, the Star Wars fireworks, even back, and I love this show. And people might forget that this was a show at the studios. The Frozen fireworks.
Yeah.
Remember that when they used to make it snow on Hollywood Boulevard? That was do you remember how crazy the studios was for Frozen there for like the summer there? Like I remember we chased around with like a Olaf on a stick. Yeah. And like you take your picture with them or something. I can't remember what that was. They had the ice skating rink.
We built like a snow. There was like a, do you want to build a snowman? Yes! So we built a snowman. And
because they had an ice skating rink. And then what they did was they shaved it like every couple of hours. Like you got to do an ice skating rink to get the fresh ice. And then what they did was they put the shavings over in the corner, and like kids from California that had never seen snow were like playing in the snow, making snowballs, like getting frostbite on their hands. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, that's cold. It's real. But just come to Missouri in December and freeze your hands off. You know, you're from Michigan. I'm like, that's not fun. But I mean, that was crazy. But I just have that memory of that was my dessert party. I would go get it to go. PB&J shake, and we'd watch the fireworks at the studios. And that was just because the studios is very underrated for the fireworks shows they've had over the past decade. Star Wars, really Frozen, those were really Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam fireworks were awesome with the lasers and stuff. They've had some killer fireworks, and a PB&J shake in your hand, all the better. What about
Side note about studio fireworks? Like I love being in there, like watching them. But sometimes, because I've caught this by accident, like I think watching the studios fireworks outside the park are even better. Like if you can see like the Hollywood Studios sign, like the gate entrance, and the way they just like project in the air, like that's actually a really awesome way. If you don't have a park ticket, you can watch some fireworks that way. Because I think because you can just walk there or take a bus, it's a really cool way. If hopefully we get more fireworks at I almost call it DCA because it feels like DCA sometimes.
It's weird when I've never been obviously to Disneyland, and I like went up to the gates. I'm like, dude, this is so like that's exactly what Mallory said. Yeah. This is Disney's Hollywood Studios. And we walked in, it feels even when you go through the touch points, it feels so similar, but just it feels larger. It feels more open. Yeah,
it does.
Ice cream for you though, Walt Disney World. Where are you going?
I think you know where I'm going, Mike, but I'm going to one of my favorite spots. It's at the Beach Club, and it's called Beaches and Cream.
Good call.
Love their ice cream, and I'm going with the No Way Jose, but I go vanilla ice cream. I like chocolate ice cream, but it gets a little too chocolatey with like all the like hot fudge they put on it, and I like the peanut butter and vanilla combo better, so I'm going with a No Way Jose. And man, I would love to have one right now.
That is one of my favorites, and one of my favorite memories of vacationing with you is when we hauled a No Way Jose. Was it all the way through the convention center? Was it?
No, so it was like 105 degrees outside, and
it was huge.
So Ample Hills was open. You were like, I have to go to Ample Hills, and like I wasn't the biggest Ample Hill fan, so I was like, well, I'll get my ice cream on the way, and I got a No Way Jose to go, and that thing was soup by the time you got to Ample Hills because it melted so much. I didn't know they did them like to go like that either. Like at that time, like in that container, like it was awesome.
I'm just saying, ice cream to go at Walt Disney World, not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Especially something as big as a No Way Jose. I mean, this thing was massive.
Yeah. And didn't Ricky say she took one to go and like drove?
I mean, it's Ricky.
I know.
No comment. I mean, come on now.
I mean, that's like her MO, man. That's what she's known for, is like just obscure things to go. But
yes. All right, so I'm opening up the phone lines, 407-413-9395. You want to jump in and tell us where you get your best ice cream, either Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, Walt Disney World. You want to talk to us about your favorite commercial from back in the day. What did you think about that video? If you saw that one online with all the stuff we used to have at Walt Disney World, what did that make you feel? We want to get you on the air. We want to get some more voices in here on Thursdays and on Sunday nights because it is your show, but just jump in and we have our first call right here. It's all it takes. So let's get this one in on line 2. And we have our call. Who's joining us?
Hey, this is Laura from River Grove, Illinois.
Hey, Laura from across the river. What's going on? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. My kids and I just got back from Walt Disney World on Wednesday, and it was their first time back since 2014. So it was a huge culture shock for them since they were so young the last time they were there. But we were at Universal our last day and just doing stuff. And my 16-year-old son turned to me and said, Mom, this is just not as magical as Disney. And I thought, yes, you are so right. It is so true. So a shout out to Audie because she helped us out with our trip and we just had a great time.
Let me just say, Audie might be the nicest person I've ever met in the whole world. I don't know if it's just because she's from Texas and she's got that Southern thing going on, but she's awesome over at the Magic for Less. So did you query a little further? Because I'm always curious as to why somebody says that about, I feel the same way about Universal. And I think Scott, he gave a little kind of fist bump when you said that, but it's hard to quantify something like that because it's a feeling, but do you have any reason as to how your son came to that viewpoint?
So I think one of the things that helped out a lot was the fact that we had Genie Plus, and I became a champ at Genie Plus. And so I got really good at stacking rides and us being able to just go from place to place so quickly. And with Universal, their Express Pass system is not as good. And so they just felt like Disney worked much more efficiently than Universal does.
You know what? You just gave me a great idea. I just thought of this because in our party, because you sound like you're the Genie Plus champion of your crew. In our party out at Disneyland, it was Scott's wife Elizabeth who kind of took the reins and was our like team captain for Genie Plus. I think that Ricky makes all the merch, like the shirts and stuff for our store, which we do have. We just never talk about. But I think we need to make a shirt that says like I'm the Genie Plus captain. You know, that says like for this crew, I'm the point person. I'm the captain of Genie Plus here for my team because, you know, like maybe like the old like hockey jerseys, you get a C for the Genie Plus like run there, because I think once somebody learns the system, it does make it enjoyable for everybody else. And what we noticed was it was very easy for kind of all of us to mutually, like, I could jump in there and make a reservation for all of us, as well as Elizabeth or Scott, anybody that was connected. And it seemed to work out well, but so you found the system to work out well for you guys. That's good to hear, because Walt Disney World system is a little bit different than the one we used out at Disneyland.
Yeah, I think what helped us too is our first day was at Magic Kingdom, and I woke my kids up early, and I was like, all right, let's go. And they, like, by the middle of the day, they were like, we're done. Like, we want to go back to the hotel. So the rest of the trip, we kind of just hung out. I let them sleep in a little bit, and then we went. It was hot, obviously, but that worked out because I felt like when they were asleep a little bit longer, we lasted in the parks longer. Right. And so that just worked out for us. Yeah, we missed like the half hour early, and you know, but with the Genie Plus, it didn't really hurt us.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. That's really great. And I almost wonder, like, if it's the time of the year, like, how did the crowds feel to you, Laura? Like, I know your kids haven't been since 2014. I don't know when the last time you were. Maybe it's the same time frame, but like, I know summer crowds to me can sometimes be lower because it's so darn hot out there sometimes. But like, so how do the crowds feel to you while you're down there?
You know what? I felt that it wasn't so bad, actually. We had room to walk. We didn't feel like we were running into people constantly. The standby lines were long. They still were long. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we didn't feel so packed in where, you know, we didn't feel like we could breathe. You know, it wasn't so bad.
That's good.
Well, let me ask you this. What was your favorite new thing that you got to experience on this trip? Because there's obviously a lot of new going on 8 years later. What was something new that maybe shocked you or surprised you?
I think the attractions like Rise where there's so much more interaction going on, and you just see more and more happening, and you feel really involved in the attraction. I think that was the biggest difference. We actually, this worked out for us amazingly. I got into the virtual queue for Guardians, and I bought Guardians, and my virtual queue and my individual lightning lane came in at exactly the same time.
What are the chances? That's funny.
That was like so amazing. I couldn't believe that happened. And so we went during our individual lightning lane time, and I told the kids, I'm like, if you like it, we'll be able to just go right back on it because it's our time. I got motion sickness on it. I never get motion sickness on anything. And I got motion sickness from Guardians.
Oh, wow.
But they did not. And so I told them, I'm like, go back in line and go. And so they went twice in a row, and they had a fantastic time.
That's what I was going to say. When I heard you say that, I was wondering that the story could go two ways, because that could be it. I was like, it's either going to be a blessing or it's going to be a curse. Because personally, because like when I went down for the media thing with Pam Forrester from the show, we had a 6-hour window with this media thing where we could ride it as many times as we wanted. There wasn't any line. You could just get on it and get on it and get on. I did it one time and I was like, Pam, I'm out. Like I said, it was so fun. I said, and Pam would not get on it. She's like, I know it'll make me sick. She's like, I got the vertigo. And she's like, and I am no spring chicken. I'm like, Pam, I'm like just same age as you, just about. Why you? She's like, one of us has to go, and I brought you for this. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll go once. So I went and I loved it, because she's like, somebody's got to talk about it. So somebody's got to write it. So I was like, okay, fine. And it was fun. But yeah, that same thing. I mean, did you, I mean, you said it gave you a little motion sickness, but I mean, it's a fun ride. I mean, I can see where everybody's loving it because there's a lot going on. It's a fun ride, but I think if you do have motion sensitivity, it's going to get you. I mean, it's got a good chance of getting you.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't normally have a problem. Like I can ride pretty much everything without a problem, but Guardians got me. So I went to Connections Eatery and sat down and relaxed while they went and stood in the standby line. So, but it worked out for them. They had a great time. So
it's all about the kids. Yeah. I blame it on that raccoon. I'm not going to look at any more raccoons. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I was just going to say, that's not a bad deal for you though. You got to like send some air conditioning and like relax a little bit while they got to do it again. And it's all about making the kids happy, right, Laura?
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure. And really we don't go that often. Obviously, I don't have the means to go as often as I would like, but really what got me there is my youngest son was like, I want to go to Disney. And I was shocked. He was 12 at the time. And I was like, I want to go back to Disney too. This works out so well. So it took some time to save up the money to go, but we got there and we had an amazing time. We stayed at Pop and we loved it there. And yeah, we just had a great time. I was so thankful to be able to go and do it.
This makes me so happy, because this is exactly what it's all about. It's about a family going to Walt Disney World, making memories. You don't have to stay at the Yacht Club or stay at the Grand Floridian. Pop Century is a great hotel. I stay there all the time. I love Pop Century. I mean, when I go down for a race, that is where I go. It's my home. I love the music. I love the icon.
Pop Century is fun to me. Like if I had to describe it in one word, it's just fun. You know?
Yeah, it's fun. It's high energy. Like it's great for families, great for kids. This is great. So yeah, this just makes me so happy. So, and I would imagine you're probably like Scott and I. Are you guys continuing to talk about the trip? Because Scott and I just keep sending texts to each other constantly, like, "Oh man, I still remember, yeah, because I was there. Like we did that together. Like, but we're always talking about it. I mean, is it kind of the same thing? You're just constantly like reliving. And I think now we're in a really cool age because like Google Photos will pop up some pictures here and there and all that kind of stuff. It's great to make those memories.
My iPhotos app popped up and said, share these memories. And it was like my Disney pictures. So yeah, it was great. My 16-year-old son had to visit with his dad, and his dad called me and said, he had the best time. All he wanted to do was talk about his Disney trip.
That's so great.
So at
That is.
16 years old, that made me so happy, because 16 years old, it could go either way. He could love it or hate it.
You're exactly right. It's
But
hard
he
to
loved
make it.
it.
It's hard to make a 16-year-old happy or 14-year-old, 15. It's just, you do everything you can. Mallory is the one that wanted to go to Disneyland. So that's kind of why it's almost like your kid said, I want to go to Walt Disney World. Mallory said, well, I'm going to go to Disneyland. So we tried it and God, I fell in love. You know what? Stuff you do for your kids, but the family comes together. I'm so glad you took the chance to go down there and have this vacation with your family. And I'm so glad you called in because you really, really made my week with this call. This makes me so happy.
Oh, awesome. And shout out to you guys. I've been listening to the podcast. It feels like forever. And I knew what to do because you guys helped me out. And I listened to you and Pam and Ricky and Scott. And yeah, I felt so confident going just from listening to you guys talk. So
we appreciate that.
Much.
We appreciate that so very much. It's our community. It's everybody coming together. And you're going to get a dose of Scott and I this week because Pam is down. Well, let me just say, I'll just give you a little hint. Pam is in a galaxy far, far away this week. So she will not be joining us this week, but she will be back with some cool stories shortly.
Yeah. And you know what? My kids and I were at the movie today and they're advertising it at the movie theaters.
I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too, Laura. When I saw Lightyear, they had an advertisement for like the Star Cruiser. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. So
someday maybe. I don't know.
Someday, me too.
I got a kid to send to college. I got, I don't think that's happening soon. I got to get Mallory. I don't think Mallory's going to get a full ride. I'm just saying that. So I better have a plan B. So, better not take any really expensive vacations here over the next 4 or 5 years. Anyway, well, hey, thank you so much for the call. You guys stay safe out there in Illinois and don't be a stranger. Give us a call here again soon.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too.
Have a good night, Laura. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Mike, can I ask you a question, like a follow-up question on that call?
Yeah, sure.
So first off, I thought Laura had a hot take on Genie Plus being better than the Express Pass because I hear so many good things about that Universal. Right. So I loved hearing that hot take. But so my question is, so I've heard a lot of not negativity, but like complaints sometimes or like frustrations with Genie Plus at Walt Disney World. And you and I just used that Disneyland and absolutely loved it. Do you think like she had a good experience because maybe the crowds were lower or like she knew what she was doing? And it could be a combination of all these things too. Or C, are you seeing like less people purchasing it now because you had to do day of purchases?
Ooh, that's a really good question because here's the thing is I think that there's still kind of a carryover with people that have it associated with their packages. I think you're going to see the more like everybody is having to make that decision of day of purchases, I would say after the first of the year. Because I would say a lot of people probably still have it because we could sell it up until I think it was June 8th when the 2023 packages came out. I still remember that date because it was a stressful day. But yeah,
so if you had it booked by June 8th, it could be for like December
so
later this
still
year.
A lot of most people probably still have that on their packages if they were going to get it or not. But I think like moving into 23, we're going to see where almost everybody is going to have to make that call every day. So I think that will significantly I would say there would be a significant drop in Genie Plus usage because, like when you're building it into your package, let's say I'm booking a trip right now, or say I was booking a trip in April for December. And, the package comes out to be like $3,500 or with Genie Plus, it's $3,700, right? I don't even really make that calculation too hard, right? I'm just like, fine. I don't want to wait
a bunch of money, just whatever.
Right. It's like that. So, and I'm only paying $200 right now. So forget it. And then I just make the final payment and I don't really itemize it. Right. I just kind of put it all. That's what Disney wants you to do. But here's the thing. If every morning I'm looking at it and saying, I got a family of 3 or a family of 4, and I'm looking at $45 or $60 every single morning, I'm a little bit more critical on today. We might just chill out a little bit and just do some of the D&E ticket kind of things, maybe see some shows, maybe do some pool time. I'm not pulling the trigger. I mean, what do you think about that? I think, you're going to be a lot more
I agree. Like, well, that's how it was with Disneyland, Mike. Like, that was the perfect example. Like, it was built into our ticket. It was weird buying like a 5-day ticket, mind you, because I'm so used to the annual pass. So like, just seeing like, well, I got the room. I'm already all in on the tickets with the hopper. Like, what's another X amount of dollars to just throw that on every day. You're spot on. Where like, because that's how I feel at World as an annual pass holder. Is like, man, I gotta buy that every single day. Like that. I don't know. That's really challenging. But I'll just say it was really refreshing to hear from Laura give some positivity on that, because I feel like I've heard a lot of negativity towards Genie Plus, and that felt like really good to hear.
No, that was a great call. That made me super happy. All right, we have our next call on the line. Hey, who's joining us?
Hi, this is Kathy from Massachusetts.
Hey, Kathy. Sorry about your Red Sox, but hey, let's don't talk about that today. Let's talk Disney.
All right, yeah, I don't really talk baseball much, so
That's good.
there wouldn't
It
be
wasn't
much good company here tonight.
I'll say it wasn't pretty today. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to add a little bit. We just got back from a trip a couple weeks ago as well. We stayed in the middle of June, about June 18th to the 25th. We stayed over at Copper Creek Villas, which is always so much fun.
Yeah.
I love it there.
That's not really roughing it at all. That's pretty nice over at Copper Creek. I mean, I gotta give you that. That's you're not slumming it too bad.
Yeah, no, we actually had a 2-bedroom. So my parents came along with us, so it was really nice. We got to eat breakfast in the room. We came back a lot of times for lunch. That Amazon Fresh is such a great way to get your groceries delivered.
Oh, good tip.
And it saves so much money, really, when you think about it, especially with my kids who are such picky eaters. They'd come back to the room, just make up a quick hot dog or something and a sandwich and go to the pool and hang out for the afternoon.
Very nice. So what were some of the highlights from the trip outside of the villa? I would never leave, but what did you do anything outside of the villa? Because I don't think I would have.
So yeah, we went pretty much every day to the parks because my kids really do love going. So we would kind of go first thing in the morning. We would rope drop most days, stay there till around lunchtime, come back, hang out by the pool, hang out. Most of the time, that's when the rain would start anyways, like late afternoon. So after the rain would kind of pass, we'd go out to the parks again and, stay till closing.
So how'd you guys find the crowds? Because you were there late, probably, I guess, peak summer, I guess you would say, like late June.
Yeah.
Did you guys find it okay?
Yeah.
Or was it challenging?
So this is probably our third time going in June, and I felt it very busy. But I don't know, is it because we went last year, which was still kind of the tail end of like the COVID, and there was no fast pass lane, so everything was standby. We rode everything with little to no wait. So this year with the whole Genie Plus, we actually only did it one day, which is kind of different than the lady, I didn't catch her name, that called before, because knowing that we were going to get to do the deluxe after hours 2 of the days, I said, well, I'm not going to spend the $60 for the 4 of us when we're going to get to go, later in the evening and ride the ride. But the problem with that is during the day, like especially at Magic Kingdom, I felt like we were at a disadvantage, because most lines like Haunted Mansion, Pirates, it was like well over 40, 50, 60 minutes, so it was kind of like what we would do was we found ourselves trying to do like the stuff that was indoors, because as you know, in June, it's super hot.
Yes.
So we would go and do like Country Bear Jamboree. We would do the Tiki Room and do that kind of stuff, where there was no wait and kind of cool off. And then, do the other stuff that didn't have much wait. And then we were lucky enough to do like Space, Thunder, Splash, all like first thing when we rope dropped, one of the days. And we went back on that extended evening hours, which is really, really awesome. I felt like Epcot felt like there was even less people than Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom felt like there was more people in the evening. But like my kids rode the Barnstormer, I think 4 times in a row. Like they just would get off and go right back on.
I love that. That's awesome.
And it felt like old time Disney, where you could just get off a ride and just go right back on, But the only thing is we wanted to do 7 Dwarfs, and we thought, okay, the wait's a little busy right now. Why don't we wait till later in the evening? I'm sure there'll be less. We found that the wait time was going up rather than getting less as the evening went on. You know, I think everyone else had the
Yeah,
same mindset.
Everybody was thinking the exact same thing.
Exactly. And with Magic Kingdom being open later, it makes it a little more difficult. I mean, my kids are 13 and 9, so they did hang with us, but by midnight, you're already like, okay, I'm tired. You know, we got to get back. With the Epcot one, I felt like it was really nice, but the only disadvantage is you watch Harmonious, and that cuts into 20 minutes of your 2-hour time.
Yep.
You know, and you have so much ground to cover between rides. So we really only got to do, we got a standby queue for Guardians, did that, and then went over and did Soarin' and Frozen Ever After, which, I mean, it's pretty
good.
Those three in that evening. Yeah. And we were able to actually get a reservation as well during the day. So we rode it twice in one day, which was so cool.
That is the challenge at Epcot, though. I mean, the park is so large that, I mean, if you go from Frozen to Guardians, I mean, it takes you a good, I mean, if you're speed walking 10 minutes, I mean, you got to be moving to get there in 10 minutes. And it's 10 there, 10 back.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's, 20 minutes out of 2 hours. That's a big chunk. And you're right. Harmonious lasts like 49 minutes. I mean, it's the longest show in the history of fireworks.
Even when I'm running the marathon, Mike, it takes me forever to get from like France to Mexico.
Yes, it does. That's the longest stretch ever at the end of the marathon. Oh my gosh. So,
and I do have to say that this was our first time watching Harmonious and Enchantment, and I thought Harmonious was way better. That's my personal opinion.
There you go. One for Scott.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is too. It's, I love like the fireworks shows in Magic Kingdom, but ever since they started doing like the ones where there's projections on the castle, I think unless you have this prime spot, it's so hard to see. I'm barely 5 feet tall. So it is so hard to get a really good view of the castle, in the show. So, and I feel like it lacks, like we say, I know you guys talk about it all the time on the show about like the emotion, like wishes, wishes for me will always kind of hold a special place in my heart, and I think it just, I don't know, it just didn't have, it was a great show, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't have that like, I don't know, those emotions that you get when you're watching it,
Kathy, I fully agree with you, because Wishes was the show when I started going, so, you talk about that attachment, but like you could watch it anywhere, like in the park, I felt like, because there wasn't the projection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might miss like Tinkerbell flying, but like you could be behind Fantasyland, you could be over by Big Thunder, and it almost felt like the same show almost every time. And like, because you could hear the music piped in, and like that might have been another reason why I loved Wishes. You didn't have to like force yourself to be on Main Street to get a better experience than someone else. So I liked your thinking there.
Yeah, I agree. I remember we watched it a few times from, the top of Bay Lake Tower.
Yeah.
Wishes, which was always awesome. And they had it piped in, and you, like you said, you're not missing too much. But I mean, overall, it was obviously a really, great show. But hopefully, the next thing they come out with will be a little more, I don't know, more emotional or something.
Yeah, I'm all about the emotions. And same thing with the commercials. I was saying, I need those commercials that just connect to me. I don't even know, like they don't have to really show like something specific, but it's got to connect to something that I just feel, like I'm too excited to sleep.
Right.
We're all that way before our trips. I mean, I've gone, 60 times to Walt Disney World, and I still, every time before I go to the airport the next morning, I can't sleep. I'm pumped, I'm like, I know exactly, I've been to Pop Century a bunch of times, but I'm still excited. I get to be there in the morning, the next morning I'm having breakfast at Pop. Like that's the best. I got to ask you this real quick though. It's National Ice Cream Day. Unless you're like lactose intolerant or something, where's your favorite place to get ice cream at Walt Disney World?
So I'm not a huge ice cream per se. I'm more of like, like a Dole Whip or a churro
frozen
kind of girl.
Treat. Okay, it's cold treat. Let's go with, or
okay.
sweet treat. Sweet treat. We could
a dessert item. Let's go there.
Yeah. Well, I obviously would go for. We had the I Lava You float this year. That was really, really good. We really enjoyed it.
Is that the one that had the Pop Rocks on it?
Yes, it was like with strawberry Fanta, and then it had the little Pop Rocks at the top.
Yes. Did you ever have that? I didn't have it, but I heard about it.
I think I did have it, or Was it at the Aloha Isle at the Polynesian? Because I had something similar like that over Marathon weekend. Maybe it was something different, but I know it had like Pop Rocks in it.
No, it was actually at Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah. It was at the sunshine.
I think it would be.
Sorry.
Yeah, if I put any Pop Rocks inside my body right now, it would just not. I don't know. I mean,
speaking of desserts, though, so Kathy, like you mentioned, like watching Wishes from Top of the World. So I was able to introduce Mike to Top of the World one evening before, and we had like the 12, 15 layer, whatever, like cake at Top of the World.
Did you have a wedding cake almost? Yeah. It was huge.
Did you ever have that when you were up at Top of the World?
No, I have never had that. My husband and I remember like going one night to that lounge up there, and we had like drinks, but I never got any desserts up there. No.
Yeah, we did a tequila flight, and then we ordered the biggest piece of cake in the history of the pieces of cake, and then
that ended up being a funny memory for us because we couldn't finish it. It was me, Mike, Elizabeth, Pam, and our daughters, and like we couldn't even finish the cake. So we went. So we took a bus back, like we walked over, we left the Contemporary or Bay Lake over to the bus stop at Magic Kingdom, probably going back to Coronado or something like that. It was a jam-packed bus. I was standing, and
we were all standing.
We were all standing. I'm just holding on to this cake box, and I just started asking people, like, "Do you want some cake?"
Because the thing is, when you're standing on the bus at park closing, because it was right at park closing.
Yeah.
Is that I think we had to walk back to the Magic Kingdom to catch a bus. I don't know why we're on a jam-packed bus. We had to have been because we're going to a hotel. We must have gone back to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, we went to the Magic Kingdom bus resort.
Yeah, that's what we did. So we're standing in a jam-packed bus of all these people leaving the Magic Kingdom with this it's like devil's food cake. And the thing is, like, you know, like if you've ever ridden like a jam-packed bus at park closing, like if you're holding something and you're 6 foot tall, it's like right in the face of like 3 people. Like, I mean, the driver takes the corner too fast, and like somebody's taking a bite out of this thing unintentionally. So we're just like, if we had forks, we'd be serving it up there right in the middle of this.
I was just gonna let people just put their hand. I mean, this is pre-COVID. just scoop a piece out with your hand. But yeah, I love that lounge. Actually, I mean, I know we're kind of going long now, Mike, but like there's some breaking news too. Like they've changed the lounge is coming back, and it's kind of like villains theme. So I'm kind of interested to find out more about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. This sounds like a great trip, Kathy.
I just wanted to say, from listening obviously to your podcast so much, we were able to get a lunch at Sci-Fi, which was a lot of fun. We had never done that. And we did dinner at Homecoming, which was so good.
Man, I still haven't got into Sci-Fi in the last 5 years. A ton of our listeners have. I haven't. And on my last trip, I camped out. No kidding. I camped outside of Sci-Fi for 75 minutes and just kept trying to hit the wait list. Never got and I was by myself. I was just one person. I would have sat at the back at a picnic table. I would have stood if they would have let me. I cannot get in that restaurant, but I'm glad you did.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike, I have a ADR in August. I'm just saying, like, I know I keep teasing you to come down, but
I know I'm trying. I gotta still. It's all about timing. No, Kathy, thanks so much for the call, and I'm so glad you had a great trip. And now you need. I'm gonna have to go find some Pop Rocks with my ice cream that I get later tonight.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
You too. Have a good one up. Take care.
Thank
that was awesome.
Bye.
You know, another news thing was like the BR guest playing at Spaceship Earth.
I know, dude. We're taking over.
We're
taking over. BR guest on Spaceship Earth. Oh, by the way, too, we were talking about this on Instagram or Twitter because there's somebody that was trying to call in. So if you want to call it, there was like a 3-something area code. We can sneak in real quick at the end of the show because we went a little long on the last call. How about that backpack?
Oh, the backpack is sweet.
Spaceship Earth. How does that work?
So I follow that guy on Twitter now, the guy that makes them, and he talked about because he saw the BR guest one, and he's like, "All right, well, I had to reprogram for that one now too." So he must have some like way like with I don't know, man. I'm not technically enough.
Is there like a signal that's sent out to Spaceship Earth, and like somehow he intercepts the signal into his backpack that? Or is it because it's totally in sync? I mean,
it is in sync. Yeah, maybe he's watched enough video of it to know like how like to flash certain lights at these every like half a second. I don't know, man. It's the most incredible thing. You should retweet that videos for the listeners to see because it was awesome.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, first of all, I thought this is fake news. This is not real. And then I saw it because it's all over, it's kind of gone viral. And then I'm like, okay, because Dr. Kai sent it to me and I'm thinking, and then you said you tried to buy it and it was sold out. And then I'm thinking, okay, like it is perfectly synced. So I'm wondering, like, do they send this signal to spaceship? Or because maybe they do, they probably do, to the beacons, like via, some kind of like encrypted Wi-Fi. It's probably how it works. Okay, so somehow this dude cracked the system and he's got like a router in that backpack. But like, how did he do that? I mean, like, is security not tackling this guy? Because I mean, it obviously is getting the same signal because it is synced perfectly. It was the craziest thing ever.
It was awesome.
It
was $300 too. Like, and then I was like, I don't know.
I'm not buying it. I don't need. Yeah, but it's still.
It could be like the old like Pop Century cooler, the Coronado Springs cooler. Like you just hand it down to another family. Like staying on the next trip.
It never leaves Epcot. Like it never ever will leave the park.
As you're walking out of Epcot, you hand it to another person.
Exactly. And you're like, you like solemnly swear that you will not take this home. You will pass it off to the next. Like you have a secret password. Like password is Figment. Figment 83 t-shirt. Okay.
There it is. That's the password.
That's what it is. All right. So we got to get out of here. We're running long, but we thank you for the great calls. We hope you've enjoyed the last hour with some fun Disney talk here on a Sunday night or a Thursday if you're listening on the feed. Don't forget, we have shows every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're going to have some fun podcasts for you this week. Of course, last week we did not have listener questions because we had the Disney Wish review with Pam. Lots of folks said they enjoyed that and they are ready to get to see. Scott and I, just a little behind the scenes, we were both looking at cruise dates while we were recording that podcast. That's how excited we were. Pam was talking and we caught each other. We're like, what are you doing? I'm sailing.
She may ask us the question if you heard any like dead silences because me and Mike we're looking at cruise fair.
We're like, what'd you say? Because I was on DisneyCruise.com. So that's what we're doing. And then, of course, we talked about Disneyland on Friday. So this week we will have listener questions. We'll have a trip report. We're going to have all the stuff we're used to. Back to Walt Disney World. We're going to have a fun week for you here on the podcast. As always, these shows are always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. So please support the folks who support us over at themagicforless.com. We'd love to help you plan that next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. Just drop by the website, themagicforless.com. Fill out that quote form while you're there. It's no obligation, but we'll find those rates and availability for you, get you those numbers, and take care of you from there. So again, check them out over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. When you got to buy something online, it costs you nothing extra. Just click through the link. It's one extra click, and it really does help support the show. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to the patrons of the Be Our Guest Podcast. You make all this podcasting possible. We couldn't do it without you, and our patrons get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest every week. Coming over, we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give this guy a follow on the social media at Epscot, EPSCOT on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike, so give me a follow as well. Got a lot of new followers this week. Thanks to everybody who came on over and love to talk to you over there. And don't forget, we'll have another live show next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. You, me, and Scotty G. And we'll hope to have great calls just like this week. It was a lot of fun, a lot of positivity. Yeah, it was. This is what it's all about. So until we get back together again, for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Sunday night or a great Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Good show.
That was good.
All right.
A couple good calls there. Got like a couple mini trip reports. Like I love hearing that.
Me too.
I'm going to have to pass on the ice cream, man. I've had ice cream 4 nights since we've been back.
We had it Friday and Saturday night, but I think
I've had it Friday and Saturday. Then I think I had it like on Monday and Wednesday or something too. It's been bad
tonight. Because last night I had it, but my stomach was hurting because we went to Texas Roadhouse. Like sometimes when I have Texas Roadhouse, man, it kills my stomach immediately. Like I get like shooting like pains, and I had that last night. Pam's like, "Can we get ice cream?" Like,
are you watching my brother at all or no?
So I haven't. I just bought right before the show. I bought the live feeds, and I haven't watched any episodes yet. But I know what's going on because I see it on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I don't know who anybody is on the live feeds. Like I don't know who anybody's name is, so I don't know. Gotcha. Like I know the people.
I hope it picks up a little bit. It hasn't been my favorite season yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Now that it's the All-Star break, like we'll probably binge it all to catch up before Friday because if we got to watch Home Run Derby in the game Tuesdays.
But so we got Yeah, we have the feeds too through Paramount Plus, so we can just watch them. So like I've never been a feed watcher, but I've been watching them a little bit this week, and like it's not good for me to watch them at lunchtime for me because it's like noon, and like there's like still waking up at like 9 in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
So, like it's so boring.
But
Like
see,
here's a
now
person
I get
brushing
it.
their teeth. Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
I know, but now I get it because now that I've been on the West Coast, it like makes a
Yeah.
little more sense to me because I was
Right.
always like, God, these people like sleep in.
Yeah.
2 hours behind. But yeah, the worst though is like when you're like at 9 o'clock at night, you know, or like 10 o'clock at night and you're getting ready to go to bed and they're eating dinner. Like, oh my God, I got to eat again.
And
like,
then you're getting hungry again. Yeah.
I need fourth meal.
Yeah.
Like, quit eating.
I
It's
need
like
Big Brother
dinner time.
meal.
Well, because they're eating, you know, because like younger people eat like at 7 o'clock, you know,
Exactly.
and out there, but it's like 10 o'clock, you know, here. I'm like, dude, I think I need to go get
Well,
me
Mike,
some.
I don't eat on Sundays. I don't eat till like after this show. So,
I already ate. All right. I will. So you and me tomorrow then, I guess, because
okay.
I guess we're the crew.
And we're the crew.
I guess. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow night. I'll
Sounds
see
good.
you. All
See
right.
ya.
Have a good
Bye,
one. Thanks.
everyone.
See you guys.